Okay, I'm just gonna show, not a tutorial necessarily, but I guess my process for recoloring hair. Uh, I don't want to call it a tutorial because it's not exactly straightforward. I've tried to write down steps, but I'm just not very good at that. Um, because a lot of it just comes to me naturally. I don't know how to describe what I'm doing rather than just like show it. And I'm gonna use QR Sims, adventure aventurine hair as an example, because they allow you to include meshes in your colors, which is really awesome. And I can show people how to do that, um, because it makes your life a lot easier, especially if you use the ISO palette like I do, which is makes files pretty big. And you don't want to have like a million hairs in your hair folder. So, uh, the things you need, um, you need the hair you're going to recolor. You need the palette you're going to use, and this will work if they have actions. There's a lot of palettes out there that have actions. I'm going to use EasoShot as an example, um, but a lot have actions, and that's kind of what I use to make things go a lot faster. Um, Another thing you're going to need is a program called XNConvert. We'll use it later. Um, I'm pretty sure it's free. I got it for free. It was recommended by assembler, I don't even know who, like ages ago, for converting DDS images to PNGs. Um, and I'm gonna use the newest version of Photoshop because I unfortunately pay for it, but I did do the same thing on um, my old computer with a pirated copy of like the 2019 or something. So it should work on anything. I don't really know how it works actions. You probably can't use Photoshop actions on like GIMP or something. But maybe there's something similar. I'm not sure. Um, but you could probably uh, figure out a way. The most important thing that you want to start with is that you're exporting the dirty blonde swatch or whatever hair, whatever actions you're using, whatever palette you're using uses as a base. Like I think all of them use the dirty blonde, the number 13. Um, as a base, and you're exporting the diffuse as a DDS image. And you want to have a working folder, so I'm going to use this example folder I made instead of my actual one, which is just called hairs. So it's a little less confusing, but uh, you can name this whatever you want, but you want to name it the same thing every time. Um, so if you do another hair, you're going to name it one as well. Um, Or I name it one. You can name it hair, base, whatever. I use one just so it always shows up first. And then you're going to open it in Photoshop. And then you're going to load in your actions. So these will be in EasyShot, Photoshop actions, and defaults is the first one. There's like an order I do to these if you're doing EasyShot. I do defaults, then I do naturals, then I do jewels, then I do a natural. So make sure you're doing the 5.5, which is the newest version. It has a couple extra colors. And then the last I did muted because it was added last. And so not all of the hair actions are going to have five sections to it. Um, this is actually why I like EasoShot is because there's so many hair options. But for example, like another one I use like Crystarium, I believe, have they all look like this, but Crystarium will have an auto action that does all of them at the same time. For EasyShot, you'll have to make your own, um, which I'm going to show you how to do. It's very easy. All you need to do is open up a history panel, and you're just going to play the action for the first one, take a screenshot, and click back. Oh, sorry. You have to start recording first. Delete that. So first, you're gonna make your own auto action. And you can call it whatever you want. I call mine auto. And I'm just gonna click the first one, play, take a screenshot, and then go back to that. And you're gonna do this for all of them. Okay, hopefully I'll have sped through all that. Once you're done, you just stop the action, and then it's there. And to show you how that works, and open up the base file again. And so when you play it, it's going to go through all of them, and it's going to have screenshots there for you. There, like that. And then what you want to do is make another action that saves these automatically for you, and this will save you so much time. I call this one save. So in your working folder, I have a folder that I like to call DDS, and this is where I just save everything. And I do one hair at a time, makes things a lot easier. Um, and this is my actual DDS folder, so I'm just gonna copy, because this is what you want to name the uh, files, because eventually when you import them into your package, it will just automatically import and you don't have to change any name files, so you want to save them as these. So I'll click on my snapshot, save, wrong DDS folder, my example DDS folder. Oh, and I forgot to record, didn't I? We're gonna make our save. All right. Now we're gonna click that. And we want to save this in our example folder. Swatch one. And you want to save it as BC3, or in older versions, you'll want to look for the where it says DTX5, DXT5. Um, I don't know. That's just what you do. That's what I learned on the forums, in the Sims 4 Studio forums. And that's what works. That's what show up in Sims 4 Studio. This window may look a little different depending on the version of Photoshop you have. So you might want to look up on the Sims 4 Studio forums just the DDS export settings. Yeah, and that'll save and go there. And you click the next one, save, save, and etc. And I'm going to fast forward. Me. And then stop the action. And now that's all of them saved. So that's essentially it. And then you do that for each and every one. Now you can do like all of them at once. So you have 168 screenshots. I don't do that just so I can make sure there's no mistakes and I don't slip up in my actions or anything. So I find it easier to like segment it into all these five separate steps. It's entirely up to you. Yeah, okay, so I did that one. So basically this is how it works. It's gonna run through my naturals now. And now it's gonna save them. And you'll know it's working because it does that. You can see it working. Now this part, the save part, can take a long time depending on your computer. I like just built a new PC, so it's really fast. But my old shitty little laptop, it took quite a while, and depending on how big the mesh is, the whole process can take a little bit longer. So just to show you that it worked in my DDS, and there they are saved. You can tell because the last thing I recolored was these hairlines, and obviously now they've been replaced with the hairs. So then what I do is I exit out and then I open it back up again. And then I play. Again, this is different if you decide to do all of them at once. Then you'll just have the hair open once and you'll click play and it'll go through. The only thing is it'll take a very long time to create that action in the first place because you do have to do it all manually first for it to record you doing it. And there's also a possibility of you messing up, clicking the wrong thing, saving it in the wrong place, and all that. And so to like save myself from accidentally doing that, I split it up like this. It just keeps me on track. And it also like I can stop halfway through if I need to go do something. That's saved. Exit it out. Click it open again. Okay, that's all done. So the actual recoloring process is done. They're all there. Perfect. Now the next thing you want to do is actually create the package. So I'm going to take the hair mesh, the original hair, and I'm going to put it in my Sims 4 Studio mods folder. As you can see, this is the last thing I recolored, so their hair, they're here, but that's basically what we're going to do. I'm just going to move them for now. So what you're going to do is open Sims 4 Studio. So you're going to create a 3D mesh because you're making it with the mesh included. Otherwise, if the creator doesn't allow mesh, then you do create standalone. And you'll find the hair, go custom, and you'll name it. So I just named mine that with Ezo shot on the end. Obviously name it whatever you want your creator name. I just do it with the palette at the end so it's easily findable in my mod folder. Okay. The next step is if the mesh is included. So if you're going to include the mesh, you're going to go to Tools, Modding, and you're going to go to Embed All Externally Referenced Resources. So that makes sure the med is included. If you're not including the mesh, you don't have to do it. That's all. So next up is you're going to delete that black swatch or else the first black swatch is messed up. I don't know, it just is. And you're going to go to color palette and you're going to find the Ezo shots. Now, when you import the palettes, that Ezo shot all isn't going to be there. I'll maybe include it as a download just to make your lives easier because when you download the initial thing, there isn't one that has all of them. I made my own palette that has all of them just to make my life a little easier. So I can just, by palette package, um, you're not going to keep the existing swatch, and then they're all there. Oh, whoops. I chose the wrong one. Uh, you just shot all, not jewels. Apply that palette package. Okay, now they're all there. Actually, because I just messed up right now, I'm going to make sure that the color tags are correct. Uh, colors pink, orange. Yeah, okay. So that's why this is not a proper tutorial. So fit the package. I'm going to save that. It may take a little second because it's a lot of swatches. Wait, how's that for now? So go to the folder where you saved your package. I usually just save it in here in the Sims 4 Studio folder. Makes my life easier, but you can save it in your working folder or wherever. And you want to name the folder the exact same thing that you named your new package, but with resources at the end. Now you're going to open Xn Convert and this DDS folder where you saved all the DDS folder or DDS files that you just saved. You're going to import them into Xn Convert. You can also add folder. Oops. And you're going to output it into that folder you just made. And you want them to be turned into PNGs, and you want the file name to stay the same. And as for the other settings, I don't know. I just do whatever that the program came with, I guess. Yeah. And that's done. Now you can go see, and they're all there as PNGs, which is what you want to import into Sims 4 Studio. Or else the hair turns out a little weird. It doesn't quite work, I think, in live mode when they're DDS. Again, don't know if that's because there's an issue with what I'm doing, this process, but excuse me, or if that's just how The Sims works. I don't know. But this is how I do it, like I said. Might not be the most convenient way, but it's what works for me. So to import all of the pictures, you're going to, oh, sorry, you type up the cheat console by pressing Control-Shift-C, and that opens the Sims 4 Studio cheat console. And then you type Studio Import All, press Enter, and now it's going to import everything from that folder into here because you saved the file names properly. Then they all go to their places, and this is going to take a long time. I think it doesn't even matter how fast your computer is, this might just take a while. Especially if you're using a mesh that has a lot of poly. I didn't check this one, but if it's a big hair, then it's going to take a little bit while to import everything. And usually if I'm doing a bunch of hairs at once, I will go ahead and start recoloring another one so I can do, you know, kind of two hairs at the same time. I wouldn't recommend that for your first time, only because it can get kind of confusing. Even actually my millionth time recoloring hairs, it still gets really confusing and I can still mess up. But if you want to like save time, and also it's kind of boring just waiting here. So I'll fast forward now. There, and it's all done. And I just click through these. I don't click through all of them, but generally make sure they got all of them. Usually does. and save it. Might also take a couple of seconds. There. And now it's done, theoretically, but I'm going to go in game and test it to show you that it's done and that it works. um, so I'm going to stop the recording here. Oh, there we go. Okay. So after having to restart my computer and the EA app and all that, finally got the game open. Um, Now let me just find the hair, because I didn't bother taking out all of my CC. um, so oh, there, okay, there's the original, and I usually don't mess with the sort order, which means it is probably right there. And there we go. Okay. All the colors look good. I'm gonna choose this because it's my favorite blue. Oh, and I'm gonna test it in game. Let's use Dent. Oh, it's Harvey Dent's flop brother who wants to be a bodybuilder. Yes, sure. And there it is! So that's how I recolor hair. Um, yeah. So if you have any questions, I can try to answer. If you see something that I did wrong and you're like, hey, actually, you should do it this way, feel free to tell me. Um, but, ooh, this guy's chin, look at him. Yeah, thank you for watching.